This is where it scares us.
Yeah.
Well done, Holly, you got it just on the thing. So welcome everybody to this really special night. It's my last night of being 49. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm 50. And then I look in the mirror and then I really do believe I'm 50, but I don't feel 50. But everyone always says that. So anyway, so thank you all for joining us. I'm really sorry we should have been having a really good comedy night and a party afterwards. But we have got one of the guests that would have been performing at my party and here with us tonight. So thank you very much for joining us, Arthur. It's so lovely to have you here.
Chaz, it's an honour to be here on your 35th birthday. As it must be,
so
obviously.
So when I was obviously Arthur knows this, but when I was planning my party, I wanted to go back, and I looked at some old programs from the very first comedy nights that I ever went to, and the first encounter I ever had of Arthur is we were at I was about 16. And we went to the Tram Shed, evening Nikki, and we went to the Tram Shed. And for some strange reason, back when I was 16, I thought wearing hats was a really cool thing to do. So I always had a hat on. And I was sitting in the front row with this big hat on with a cricket jumper and a pleated skirt. And you just came out and just ripped into me.
Oh,
and then just went... it was that thing, and then you said, well, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? You sit in the front row of a comedy night looking like that. And that was my introduction into live comedy. So thank you.
Well, given that, I'm glad you've invited me back, Sharon. I'm presuming it wasn't too horrible to you.
No, it taught me a lot.
The Tram Shed, that was quite a gig, wasn't it? It's in Woolwich, wasn't it?
It was like my second home for about 2 years. I think I was down there every Friday night.
I remember appearing there with Julian Clary and who else was there? Who was that double?
Lee Evans.
Lee Evans, that's right. Yeah, he always used to be there with his father-in-law or something, driving him around.
Yeah, because I remember seeing him do this act where he just blew himself up and then deflated himself. And I remember thinking, that's never ever going to take off. That's not even funny.
Yeah. And didn't he do a thing where, he used to put a condom on his head? Do you remember that?
Did he?
Yeah.
Can't remember that.
Someone used to, anyway. I mean, there were a lot of ridiculous acts in those days. I remember there was a woman who used to be able to open bottles of beer using her nipples, as far as I remember. What was her name? She had a name like Sheen and, Knucklebacker or something.
I don't remember that.
I remember. Do you remember where was it? At the Comedy Store, there was a Swedish tap dancing comedian, but he hadn't realised that there was carpet on the stage. I don't know if it was a Comedy Store. So, of course, his tap dancing, frankly, didn't really... No, that was down at the Tunnel in Greenwich. Did you go there?
I was about to say, because I was always banned from going down to the Tunnel by my parents, because my parents used to go down there. So I used to go to the Tram Shed and then up the creek when the Tram Shed shut down. But I never went into the Tunnel Club. I was never allowed.
That was a hell of a place. It was is it still there, that pub, I wonder? It was just by the gasworks, just south of the Tunnel, wasn't it?
I think it's still open. Yeah, Brady used to go down there Tram Shed too. I think it's back open again now, and I'm gutted that I'm not running the comedy down there because it is just back open again.
I don't think there's a comedy club there anymore, is it? Because they've moved to up the creek, haven't they?
Yeah, no. There's a monthly comedy night down at the Tram Shed. It started again last year. Yeah.
Oh, the Tram Shed. I thought you meant the
Oh no, they're not the Tunnel.
Do you know? It's someone else's birthday. I've been doing this afternoon. It's the second bit of work I've done, which was work. I mean, because today I interviewed an author called Monique Roffey, who's written a wonderful book called The Mermaid of Conch Bay, and it was her birthday too. So
Really?
all the top people's birthday, and Shakespeare yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, you're right, because it's actually Much Laughter's third birthday as well today. So I started Much Laughter on my birthday, so it's our third birthday as well. Which also came.
How are you coping with all the hunkering down and whatnot then, Chaz?
It's not too bad. We've because we've got like a local comedian circuit. We've all just been doing these and just keeping each other sane. I think it's been all right. How's it for you? Because I'm sure.
Well, what is odd is not doing live gigs. I've realised that I think it must be over 45 years or so, no, 40 years since I've gone this long without stepping onto a stage of some sort. So it's strange for the absence of what there is. But in honour of those days when we used to see me down the tram shed in the Comedy Store, Shaz, I'm going to do something really shocking that used to happen regularly. Here we go.
Do not try this at home.
No, I'm not having. I mean, apparently cigarettes are bad for you. They've been saying that for a while, but I think Donald Trump says they're actually good for you. So
don't try anything that Donald Trump says at home either.
No, I was thinking I'm not going to inject myself with bleach or whatever he's suggesting.
Oh, don't! It's just crazy. It's scary times.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to believe. If you look back, if you think back to 2015, say, or early 2016, if you said, well, there are the three big things that are going to happen is that we're going to leave Europe, well, blimey, and then the next one will be, and Donald Trump will be president, hey? and then the Black Death will come back in 2020. So we've had quite a few years.
We have had and you know what I'm really upset about is that I got my first compilation. So Much Laughter was taking its first compilation show to the Free Fringe in Edinburgh, and I got the seat for Three Sisters for the first weekend of Edinburgh, and I was so excited. And now it's not happening.
I know, so Edinburgh. I mean, I've been up to Edinburgh pretty much every year since 1977. So I'm going to really miss Arthur's Seat, which is named after me, obviously, and just the streets of Edinburgh, because it's such a beautiful city, isn't it?
It is. It's gorgeous. It really, really is gorgeous. I managed to get up last year. Long story, most people know me, we had floods at home and I had to cancel going up to Edinburgh. But I managed to get up for a couple of days, so it was really, really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it is. I've got so many good memories of back in the days in the 80s in Edinburgh. So, and bringing it back to Edinburgh, is that another thing where you saved me is, God, that must have been early 90s, I reckon, that Paul Merton was up in Edinburgh and he tripped off the stage and broke his leg and couldn't continue it. So they had a benefit gig at the Comedy Store for him to raise funds. And back in the day when I used to try and get into the Comedy Store all the time on guest list. I literally used to find out who was in backstage and get them to get me on their guest list. And I just remember him saying to me, "No, it's tickets only. You ain't getting in tonight." And then I phoned you, and you went, "I've got 2 spare tickets. Meet me at Charing Cross Station." And I just walked in like this to Kim, going, "I got 2 tickets."
How come you had 2? Who else did you have with you then?
I had Lisa with me. Do you remember my friend Lisa? So it was always a double act. The two of us used to always.
You were quite a pair, yeah.
We were quite a pair. I tried to keep it quiet amongst the kids and everything.
You should write a play about Lisa and Shaz and their straight days on the comedy circuit. Yeah, well, I will. All right, it's opening next week. I'm live streaming it, and you're smoking.
We weren't that bad. We used to get time out, and we used to put brackets around all the shows that we thought that we could probably blag our way into, and and then we used to do it. We used to see comedy most nights, 7 days a week, and getting free everywhere.
And that's when that whole circuit was just sort of starting up, wasn't it?
Oh, it was so good. It was so exciting. I absolutely loved it.
Did you go to the what was it called? The vegetarian restaurant in Highgate. What was it called? They used to have comedy on every Monday. That was the only place that had it on Mondays, I remember. The Earth Exchange.
No, I don't remember.
The Earth Exchange.
I don't remember that one. No, but everything was always around. So the Comedy Store was in Leicester Square.
Yeah,
that's right. My comedy store, because it was somewhere before that, wasn't it, as well? But
that's what I played. The one before it was in Meard Street, just up in Soho, just off of Frith Street or something, and that was actually above it was a sort of strip joint normally, as I recall. But then they weren't making any money on the strippers on Saturdays or something, so they opened up the Comedy Store. That was Don Wall. And then, but fairly soon, it moved around to Leicester Square. That's right. And they had, used to have a pee in the sink in the dressing room. I'm sure you went in the dressing room.
My favourite joke still comes from there, with Hancock and Malarkey. And Neil Hancock used to say this joke that I entered a marathon last week, but I got peanuts all over my knob, and it's still one of my favourite jokes.
I bought that off of Nick. I think I bought it off of Nick Hancock. I remember. I still occasionally do it myself, and that was where Owen O'Neill used to have a great line. He used to come on and say, "They say you play the Comedy Store twice in your life: once on the way up and once on the way down." Great to be back. A line stolen by Malcolm Hardy, of course, as well. He stole that gag.
Yeah. We won't go into Malcolm Hardy stories.
No, that's an entire podcast series in itself. I've made a list here for some reason. I don't know why.
Go for it.
Of the 10 most famous Americans I've ever met.
Okay.
This is a bit showing off in a way, but I've got. You stop me when you want to hear a story about one, and I warn you, I haven't really got one about anyone till number 4.
Okay.
Nora Ephron, Stephen Sondheim, Martha, as in Martha and the Vandellas, Bill Clinton, Tony
I want to know a story about Martha. I want to know a story about Martha.
No, you mean Bill Clinton? He was number 4.
but I want to hear about Martha.
Well, I met Martha and the Vandellas on Loose Ends. A few of these I met on Loose Ends, the radio show that I'm on tomorrow, in fact. And she was just very nice and came to the pub after, and that was it. I didn't get any great insight or indeed an anecdote out of her.
What about the Bill Clinton then? Go for it.
Now the Bill Clinton one, he was, this is about, must be about 20 years ago, 25 years ago. He played at the Hay on Wye. He was at the Hay on Wye Festival, which is a literary festival mainly, but they have all sorts there. And he just finished being president, so although they still called him president, and he was giving a talk on peace resolution. And he was I was on doing my first ever Arthur Smith Sings Leonard Cohen show, and he was on before me in the same venue. So I put it about for a while that Bill Clinton was my warm-up act. And then I went to his talk, and then afterwards, because I had to get on stage, I said, "Hurry up, I'm on next." And then he went away, and he was, by the way, it was fascinating because it's a tiny little place, Hay on Wye, but before Clinton got there were all these like big black cars and guys in suits talking into things, and reputedly there was a sniper on top of the primary school, which the teachers wanted to keep apparently, but then I did my show after he'd done his talk. And then there was a do where I was invited, and he was at that, shaking hands with everyone. And then he came to me and I said, "Oh, I had to start my show late because of you." And he said, "Oh," and he'd seen my name somewhere or something. He said, "You're Arthur Smith doing Leonard Cohen." I said, "Well, yeah." And he said, "Suzanne takes you down." And then we sang through Suzanne, me and Bill Clinton. And then I was with the Radio 4 producer who was trying to record this, but she said, "I've got low batteries." And Clinton said, "Well, Arthur doesn't seem like a low batteries kind of a guy, except with a proper American accent." and then that was the last. We haven't seen each other since.
Oh no!
Well, I'm a big fan of his wife, actually.
Are you?
Clinton. Yeah, I mean, God,
Did she look like a big factory?
Do you
think she looks like a? Do you think she looks like a big factories kind of woman?
yeah. That doesn't sound much of a compliment. Sounding like that.
No.
Here's my. Do you want to hear my other famous Americans?
Number 5.
Tony Bennett. He was just a really charming, lovely man. Gwyneth Paltrow, who I saw in a play.
What was she like?
Well, she was okay, and I gave her. I just bought some bubble liquid and thing, and I gave her that, and she was very. She thanked me. She probably turned it into some sort of goop now that she sells for £1 million.
Yeah.
Gore Vidal, Jon Stewart, and then Mark Rochon, who you won't know, but he's a friend of mine who's American. Who's that? 10? Oh, and there was also some famous Matthew McInerney or something. He was an American actor, and he was on Loose Ends, and Ned Sherrin really fancied him. You could tell. It was rather sweet. And Elaine Stritch, I've just remembered. There's not many people remember.
No, I don't remember.
No.
No. So you've now made me feel really young when I'm about to turn 50 because I don't remember these people.
No,
so
exactly.
Well done, you've done your job.
You're still the teenager in my mind, Shaz and Lisa. How's Lisa? You still friends with her?
Yeah. Well, actually, Holly, who's signing,
yeah,
and her stepmom and Lisa all used to live in a house together, and we was all supposed to be going to Lisbon for Lisa's 50th 2 weeks ago, but we obviously got Japan. Yeah, so no, we're all still real good friends of last Lisbon.
That's one of 2 European capitals that I really want to go to, and I've never been to Lisbon. Have you?
No, not now. Not now. We had to cancel it, but hopefully I will be going to. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
So my little one's just. My little one's just saying to me, "Can I put some pasta on there?" Dinner.
We're having. Oh, he's doing dinner. That's good. He's very well behaved.
Yeah.
I couldn't really hear.
I haven't very trained. Mel and Eric are watching from Bromley, but I thought you were in Rochester. I don't know. Right, has anyone got any questions for Arthur? I know that there's some Nikki and Chris and everybody, so if you've got any questions, just put them up, and then he will either see them or I will ask him for you. So what have you got planned?
I'll tell you what I've got planned this evening. Me and my partner Beth, who's currently upstairs on the phone on some important phone call, we've decided to have Spanish night together tonight. I've got myself a Spanish hat here, and we've got
that was like the hat that I had on the first night we met.
Oh yeah, maybe I stole it that night. Well, this is now your birthday present, all right, Shaz?
Thank you.
Yeah, no, we've got that. And we're gonna have some gazpacho and some tapas and maybe listen to some Spanish music. Or can you recommend a Spanish film or something? Oh, what was that film about Madrid that won awards? Oh, I forgot.
I don't know.
Can you speak Spanish?
No. I can't even speak English properly, so trying to learn another language is. I was going to be doing a show this year in Edinburgh where I taught the audience French,
because moi, j'arrive à parler en français, alors je peux faire ça facilement. Il y a quelqu'un ici qui va me comprendre, n'est-ce pas? How you doing on the signing?
I'm trying my best. I'm translating it.
You translated it as
Yeah,
twice.
yeah. I'm not good. I'm not good. I'm not
Wow.
But I always because also when you grew up in the same sort of area that I did, and when I was at school and like learning French, I just always had the South London accent. So I just used to go like, "Je voudrais."
Yeah. Well, I always remember Ned Sherrin used, because when I did a year in Paris teaching English as part of my student degree, as part of the French bit I was studying. And I was somehow or other, I ended up in this really very posh school in the 16e of Paris, which is like the Kensington sort of bit of Paris. And although it was a state school, but I had the son of the then president, Giscard d'Estaing. His son was in my class. And Ned Sherrin always used to introduce me as the man who taught the son of the president of France to speak with a Cockney accent. But the key is in French. I'll tell you, all you really need to learn French is the shoulders and to adopt the French pose like this.
Okay.
What? There you are, and then you're French, more or less.
Really? I will try that next time. Nikki wants to know.
Yeah.
We have been told to learn something new during lockdown. So have either of us self-developed? So have you learned something new during lockdown?
Well, I've learned how to turn the television news off finally, which I think is a really good skill. But other than that,
I agree.
How about you?
No, I ripped out a kitchen and redid the kitchen. So
that's impressive.
I did that.
Well, you can learn French now. Like, maybe I should set up an online French class.
I think that would be really good. Arthur does French.
Oui, alors, j'arrive à faire des blagues en français facilement. Alors, vas-y avec le signing. He's doing it well. I'm really impressed.
She's a star. We only have stars on our show, don't we?
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to give her another test, because I'm the sort of man who likes to just tap himself on the head. I tap myself 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 on the head. Tap myself on the head. That was fun.
You're
now we both look like idiots.
Yeah, but that's my job.
He actually has been really well behaved, isn't he, Holly? Because Holly signs at my live gigs normally.
Yeah.
And whenever we have acts on, like, and I sort of say, "Oh, we're going to have a signer there as well," you can just see their face, like, and I go, "Look, it'll be all right." And everyone hasn't they, Holly? The feedback's been really amazing, but they always try and get Holly. They always play up and get her to do dirty words and rude words.
Yeah. I can imagine. No, but I think it's a great job you're doing there, Holly. How long does it take to learn it?
I don't remember learning it because my sister's deaf, so she was born deaf. So as soon as we found out, I learned it. So I must have been about 4. So I don't actually remember. I think it's just I just picked it up like my second sort of language.
You're effectively bilingual then, really.
Well, yeah, you want to call it that? I am.
How much does it differ in like if you're doing it in America or something? Is it exactly the same system?
Yeah, it's different. In America, and it's called ASL. It's more sort of like that. Yeah. Whereas it's a bit more in your face, But English BSL is much easier for me, obviously. I know a bit of ASL, but not a lot.
And what about French or Spanish or Chinese? Or
do you know what? I downloaded an app yesterday to start learning Italian. So see how I get on with that. Yeah, I did. it sends me like reminders every day, and it's like, right, 30 minutes of Italian.
Right. Well, I'm going to test you because I don't actually speak Italian, but I do know the most famous opening lines of the most famous lines of Italian literature, which is like the Italian equivalent of "to be or not to be," and this is, it's medieval Italian. And right, good luck with this. All right, Holly, here we go. Nel mezzo del cammin di nostra vita mi ritrovai per una selva oscura che la dirita via era smarrita.
I will
guess. A middle bit.
I will guess to be or not to be. That is the question.
Good, yeah. That is actually, it means, well, it's very hard to, it's one thing you learn, you can't translate that into English perfectly because there's too much Italian nuance along the way. But essentially, it's the opening lines of the Inferno by Dante Alighieri. And it sort of means, in the middle of my life, I found myself lost in a dark forest.
Oh, thanks for cheering me up now. I was having a really good time, and now
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
In a dark forest now.
I think I'll have to have another fag.
I haven't even got any booze in the house tonight. How bad is that?
No, well, I'm only having one glass. I don't really drink anymore because you'll remember back in the day.
I do.
When you get to 50, you start saying "back in the day" or "in my day." It's the most terrible expression in a way. But I used to drink quite a lot, I would say.
Yeah.
Although never Babycham.
I don't think anyone did they?
Do they still make Babycham?
I don't know. We'll have to Google it and see.
Holly,
I don't think they do. I was going to say I don't think they do because I don't think they do because I don't know. I haven't heard of it. So.
Yeah, and do you remember Party Sevens?
Party Sevens, yeah. Me and your mum, Holly, used to drink Party Sevens.
Really? Yeah. And is that like the equivalent of like?
Well, not me and your mum, me and your stepmom.
Yeah.
No, it was a big keg of beer. Ask Jane about them. Yeah.
7 pints of beer in one tin. Does seem ridiculous now, doesn't it?
Wow. Nikki says you can still get Babycham at Asda's.
Excellent. I shall nip out and buy her a bottle immediately.
And Karen's agreeing. They do. So maybe when this is all over and we're all allowed out again, we can wear our Spanish hats and drink Babycham.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea to me.
So you're going to do a bit of flamenco dancing tonight?
Definitely. Although I think my partner will be better at it than me. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. You have to. It's a lot of sort of stamping around, isn't it? Yeah. I think.
And have you got any
flamenco dancing? Isn't she? She's famous for it.
What, this Holly?
Yeah.
Me? Oh yeah. I'll do a bit of this, a bit of that. My own little style.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What? Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to put some Spanish music on. Yeah, some flamenco. What else is there? Who's famous Spanish composers?
I don't know. I've got a big downer on languages, just because back at school, like you had to do choices. Drama was in the same group as French and German, and my mum said. She said you have to do the languages. You can't do drama. So, and I'm crap at languages. So I just spent the whole rest of my school, as Karen will know, just going, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't very. I had a breakthrough when I was doing French A level. Is that I was coming back from the pub. I must admit I was 17 and possibly not allowed in pubs theoretically. But anyway, I'd had a few pints. And I was walking back across Blackheath, and I just started deliberately talking in French as loud, fast, and quick as I could, just to myself. And just by sort of forcing myself to go for it, tout d'un coup, j'ai fait des grands progrès quand même. And then when I lived in Paris, I spent the whole time chasing French girls because I thought that was the best way to improve my French skills.
Well, we did the reverse. We used to go to the bottom of Greenwich Park and just stay there going, just swaft. Great and Orangina. Thinking all the local French and exciting.
I don't know where you got that idea from. Oh, we might have some Orangina this evening. Yeah. Is that still going?
Nikki, is Orangina still going in Asda's? Let us know. But, did you hear about the hut on Blackheath? I know we've discussed it before much.
Oh, yeah. What happened? It closed down or something? No,
someone ran into it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were saying there was a big crash.
Yeah, it was quite bad.
Was someone hurt?
Yeah, the lady was in it, and then there was saying that they wasn't going to rebuild it.
That's right.
But I think they are good. I think Karen updated me. One of my old school mates, she updated me and told me that they are going to rebuild it. But we're really running out of time. Actually, we're running over. But so my husband's from Bermondsey, and my mum, we were Greenwich, and my mum always said to me, "Don't you go up that Creek Road to Bermondsey." They're all wrong ones up there. And then later in life, I went up there and found my husband.
Yeah, Surrey Docks was there in those days. I remember that's how I grew up next to Surrey Docks. Used to see the great big ships and all the Russian sailors pissed up the high road.
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, because Paul always talks about the Finnish church up there, up in Rotherhithe.
Yeah,
all like looking on the floor, all the young boys trying to look into the saunas up there. But that's not. He never really did. But I used to live in Evelyn Street, next door to the lead singer from the Flying Pickets. That was really good.
Yeah, they were great. The Flying Pickets. You see them up at the What's It Club. They appeared at Jongleurs, and I'm sure they would have been at the Tram Shed.
Yeah, they were at the Tram Shed. Yeah,
and they had that big hit single.
Yeah, it was strange. You know, just being my neighbour. I think we got burgled, and he just came in, and I went, "Oh my God!"
So he burgled you?
No, he didn't burgle me. He might have done. It could have been a double.
Yeah, clever. Yeah.
Anyway, we're really running over, and Karen's going to tell me off. So, but it's been wonderful to.
It's been lovely to speak to you.
And please come back.
I will. Look, I put a jacket and a shirt on for the first time in about 6 weeks, especially for you because it's your birthday.
I actually got dressed I've done all these other that everyone knows. I've done all these other ones in my pajamas. And if I put a bra on, they were lucky.
Whoa,
I actually had a Zoom meeting yesterday, and I'm really sorry if anyone was on that Zoom meeting because it was a proper professional Zoom meeting. And it was like I had 4 Zoom meetings, and I was sitting there looking at my teeth on the screen, thinking, "My teeth look a funny colour." And then I realised I'd had red wine the night before, and I hadn't cleaned my teeth.
Hey, what the hell? You're only 49.
I don't know. Well, thank you ever so much, and we hope that you'll come back to live Give with us when we're back.
I can't wait to get there.
And obviously, I'm going to have a huge party for my 51st now, so you will be coming to my 51st. So thanks ever so much. Thanks again, Holly, for being such a sport and really good. And
meet you.
Bye.
And everyone, just remember, there's a donation link up there. Arthur's gone, so there's a donation link up there. And next month, is it next month, Holly? 15th of May.
May. 15th of May.
Yeah. We've got Reginald D. Hunter, so come and join us for that. And next time you see me, I'll be a year older. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what will change.
Hopefully nothing.
Yeah, hopefully nothing. that's it. I'm feeling a bit tearful, and I shouldn't really be tearful. It's only another year, isn't it? It's just that different bracket when you go, you know, it just moves me up into another bracket. I'm now in the 50s to 65-year-old.
Yeah, I've heard 50s is the time of your life. Don't worry.
I'm hoping that that's what's going to happen. I so enjoyed being 40, so I'm just hoping that 50. I think it's just weird, isn't it, just being in lockdown when you're celebrating a big birthday. But, you know, we're here and we're having fun. So there you go. So that's all that needs to be said. And I'll see you on the 15th of May, Holly.
Yep, I'll see you then. Look forward to it.
And stay safe. See you later, darling. Bye-bye.